I'm Alex, 27 now, but this story started long before adulthood, before I even understood what the word resentment truly meant. Growing up, I knew exactly where I stood in my family, dead last, and my parents never bothered pretending otherwise. My older brother, Ethan, was the undisputed golden child. Everything he did was praised, even when it was a complete disaster. Skipped school? He's just bored, too smart for the system. Crashed dad's car at 16? A learning experience. Got arrested for shoplifting? My parents bailed him out and chalked it up to his troubled genius mind, laughing the whole thing off like it was a sitcom gag. Me? I got grounded for a B in math. I used to think maybe I was overreacting, that maybe every younger sibling feels overshadowed. But then came the day I turned 10. Ethan got a brand new laptop for his birthday, top of the line. I got a sweater, one that was clearly on sale. I asked my mom why. She didn't even blink before saying, "Because he's special, Alex. You're not the favorite. Deal with it." That phrase, "deal with it," was like a mantra in our house. They used it every time I questioned the imbalance, every time I asked for basic kindness. By 12, I stopped asking for things altogether. By 16, I stopped trying to impress them. And when I left for college, it was like escaping from a slow, quiet suffocation. I had already accepted the truth. Nothing I did would ever be enough for them. I was the spare, the afterthought. The one born simply to make Ethan look better by comparison. But the real fracture, the point of no return, didn't come until a year ago. And it all started with my grandfather's will. He passed away when I was 26. It hit me hard, deeper than I expected. We'd always been close, even when my parents acted like he was just a relic. Grandpa used to say, "Alex, you're the only one in this family with a good head on your shoulders." I never took it too seriously. I thought he was just being kind. Turns out, he meant it. Because when his will was read, I discovered he'd left me everything. His house, his savings, his vintage car, even some investments I didn't know he had. Ethan? Nothing. Not a cent. The room went ice cold. My mother turned to the lawyer, her voice sharp and trembling. There must be some mistake. Ethan sat there slack-jawed, like someone had just crushed his world with a single sentence. And my dad? He didn't say a word. Not at first. But on the ride home, as the silence stretched like a rubber band about to snap, he finally turned to me and said, "You know what the right thing to do is." I looked at him, confused. The right thing? You give Ethan half. I laughed. I genuinely thought it was a joke. It wasn't. The next 3 weeks were a relentless campaign. Calls, texts, guilt trips, gaslighting. My mom wept about Ethan's supposed struggles. My dad droned on about the family legacy. Ethan didn't even pretend to be subtle. He texted me things like, "You don't even need it. Stop being selfish." But it was never about money. It was about control. For once in my life, I had something they wanted, and they couldn't stand it. What made it worse was the hypocrisy. They barely cared about my grandfather when he was alive. Visited twice a year, max, only on holidays, and only to keep up appearances. Now suddenly, his estate was their business? After a month of this manipulation, I did what I should have done years ago. I cut them off completely, blocked their numbers, wiped them from social media, changed the locks on the house I had moved into. I needed peace, and slowly, day by day, I started to find it. That year was the quietest, most freeing period of my life. I worked, I read, I rebuilt. For once, my heartbeat didn't stutter every time my phone buzzed. I had space to think, to breathe. And then, last week, everything changed again. I came home late from work, bone-tired, my shoulders aching. I reached the steps of my porch and stopped cold. They were there. All of them. My parents, standing like ghosts on my front steps. And Ethan, smirking, like the universe still owed him something. Behind them stood a tall woman in a black blazer, sharp-eyed and unreadable. A lawyer. My mother lit up when she saw me, like the past year had been erased. "Oh, sweetheart, we were just waiting for you." My father gave a stiff nod. "We need to talk." Ethan's smile deepened. He had that smug, lazy look he always wore when he thought the outcome was already in his favor. My stomach twisted. I didn't know what they wanted this time, but I knew it wasn't good. I stopped at the bottom of the steps, keys digging into my palm. "We don't have anything to talk about." My mother gasped like I'd slapped her. "Alex, is that any way to speak to your mother?" My father stepped forward. "This is serious. We wouldn't be here otherwise." Oh, because the last time I heard from you, you were trying to guilt me into giving Ethan half my inheritance. Then nothing. Silence. And now you show up with a lawyer? Ethan rolled his eyes. God, are you done being dramatic? I turned my glare on him. Are you done being entitled? The woman finally spoke. Mr. Carter, she said smoothly, I'm Miss Holloway. Your parents have retained me to mediate a conversation regarding your grandfather's estate. I blinked. There's nothing to mediate. Miss Holloway calmly opened a folder. Your parents believe there may have been an error in the will. They'd like to discuss a fair redistribution. I laughed, a short, sharp sound that felt like broken glass in my throat. An error? My mother stepped in. Sweetheart, you have to understand, your grandfather was old. He wasn't always thinking clearly. I clenched my jaw. He was thinking more clearly than you ever gave him credit for. Ethan groaned. This is ridiculous. You don't even deserve that house or the money. You didn't earn it. I've been struggling while you sit here playing victim. Struggling? I narrowed my eyes. You've got a cushy job at a marketing firm Dad handed you, a car that costs more than my college tuition, and you live in a downtown apartment. Tell me again what you're struggling with. That's not the point. No, it is the point. I turned back to my parents. You're actually trying to contest the will. Dad exhaled. We don't want it to come to that. But Alex, think about it. Ethan's your brother. We're your family. All we're asking for is some fairness. Fairness? My voice rose. Where was fairness when I was grounded for getting a B while Ethan wrecked your car and got a new one the next week? Where was fairness when you told me I wasn't the favorite, and I should just deal with it? My mother sniffled. We didn't mean to make you feel that way. You meant it. Every word. And now you're trying to rewrite history just because it doesn't benefit you anymore. Miss Holloway interjected. Mr. Carter, if you refuse to negotiate, they may have to take legal action. I looked her dead in the eyes. Then tell them to file whatever paperwork they want. I'll be waiting. I turned, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. Closed it behind me. The echo of the lock clicking into place felt like a thunderclap. Inside, I collapsed on the couch, my hands shaking. They were really going to try to take me to court. I pulled out my laptop and began researching. Contesting a will wasn't easy. They'd have to prove my grandfather was mentally unfit or that I pressured him, but I knew he had updated his will with a trusted lawyer 6 months before he passed. Alone, of sound mind. This wasn't about legal grounds. This was about breaking me down. And I realized they were desperate. Over the next few days, I went through everything my grandfather left behind. Financial records, letters, notes, and what I discovered hit like a gut punch. My parents were broke. All those years of pretending, charity events, fancy cars, private schools for Ethan, they'd financed it with loans, refinances, and credit. They were drowning. That's why they needed my inheritance. Not for Ethan's struggles, for survival. So I made a move of my own. When their lawyer sent a settlement proposal, offering to drop the case if I handed over 60% of the estate, I laughed out loud. My own lawyer nearly did too. They don't even think they can win, she said. They just want to bleed you. Then let's make sure they lose, I told her. I made a few calls, dug deeper into their finances, and then I sent an anonymous tip to a few financial reporters about a prominent local family living beyond their means. A few weeks later, the article dropped. It tore their image apart, exposing debt, unpaid loans, second mortgages, Ethan's reckless credit usage. It wasn't just a scandal. It was an implosion. Their world fell apart before the court date even arrived. My dad's company found out. My mother's social circle turned on her. Ethan's image was destroyed, and I was just getting started. They stayed quiet for weeks. No calls, no threats, just silence. Relatives reached out. Your mother's going through a lot right now, one aunt said. Oh, is that what you call suing your own son? I replied. Then came a text from Ethan. Hope you're happy. You ruined Mom and Dad's lives. No, I texted back. They did that to themselves. I just stopped covering for them. Grandpa would be ashamed of you. That one hit, but I replied anyway. He left everything to me for a reason. He saw the truth. Maybe you should too. No response. Then came the court date. I walked in sharp, calm, composed. My parents looked hollow. My mother's makeup couldn't hide her exhaustion. My father's hands were clenched tight. Ethan looked like someone had pissed in his champagne. Their lawyer tried to spin some tale about manipulation and confusion. Then my lawyer stood and cut them down with facts. Medical reports, witness statements, legal filings, all proving my grandfather was sharp and independent when he changed the will. Then she produced the final blow, a handwritten letter from my grandfather explaining why he left everything to me. It wasn't legally required, but it destroyed whatever defense they had left. The judge ruled swiftly. The will stood. They lost. No explosions, no shouting, just silence. I didn't hear from them for months. Then one night, I came home to find a black car parked across the street. The window rolled down as I reached my door. Ethan. He looked hollow, pale, unshaven. "Wait," he said, his voice raw. "Just talk to me." I turned. "What do you want?" "They're gone," he said. I frowned. "What?" "Mom and Dad, after everything fell apart, they left. Foreclosure, debt, everything. Just packed up and disappeared." "They left you?" He laughed bitterly. "Left me with everything. No note. No goodbye." For the first time, Ethan looked like someone who had tasted the life I grew up with. Discarded. Forgotten. Alone. "I'm drowning," he said. "I don't know what to do." A long pause. "That's not my problem." His head jerked up. "Come on. Don't be like that. We're family." "No. You made it clear what family means to you. You all chose this." He stared, breathing hard, eyes full of fury and desperation. I opened the door. "Good luck, Ethan. You'll need it." I stepped inside and locked the door behind me. That was the last time I ever saw him. I don't know where my parents ended up. And honestly, I don't care. They built their kingdom on favoritism, cruelty, and manipulation. And when it collapsed, they buried themselves in the rubble. Fitting, isn't it?